Okay, so this is the seal that we're going to replace, the filler tube seal. I'm going to show you how to replace that and what you're going to have to go through, but we're going to take this for a drive first. Yesterday I took it for a drive, and what I was trying to do was get the transmission up to operating temperature. That way I could check the fluid, make sure it was full all the way up to the full mark. And when I parked it back inside of the garage and it sat there for 12 hours, this is what kind of mess we came back into. So it was leaking a lot of fluid out, and it was coming out of that filler tube. We had just, there's the car we're working on. We had just gotten through replacing the seal on the shift lever. The shift lever was leaking. We replaced the seals on it, and I was really worried with that much fluid that we may have had a pump leaking, but we got off lucky and it just ended up being this filler tube seal that was giving us the issue. So what we did was, I wanted to look up in here, up in beside of the transmission up to the top, and see if we could, how hard it was going to be to remove that top bolt. And then I realized that it would probably be easier if I came in from over top of the engine and down into the bell housing to get to that bolt. That is a 5/8 bolt, and it was really easy to get to from the top, and I'm going to show you here in just a second getting to that bolt from the top. So here we go. Alright guys, a little bit loud in here this morning. I've got my heat on. What I wanted to show you is that when you come across the top of this engine, it's actually easier to take that top bolt out for your filler tube. It's easier to get it from the top of the, up underneath the hood of the car. So let's look down in here and look at it. Yeah, you see it right there, how open it is. This little 289 doesn't take up much room, and we're going to get down in there and get that bolt out. As you can see, I'm using a transfer pump to move the fluid out of the transmission and into another container. The reason that I'm doing it this way is because I have already dropped the pan down to change the shift lever seal, and I didn't want to have to buy another pan gasket. It was just easier to do this. And if you pull that filler tube up out of there, it's just going to have fluid all over the place. So this was just easier to do it this way. Broke that bolt loose. It was a 5/8, and now I'm just taking it out with my finger, and then we'll get underneath there and change this seal on this filler tube. There you go. Alright, so we got the bolt out up top. Now we're just going to try to work that filler tube loose. Some of these are going to be harder than this one. This one's coming out a little bit easy. Some of these can be a little bit tough. Yeah, I'm hitting on a line up to the top. Gonna have to work with it here a minute to get it out of there. Let me get my gloves off. All right. It doesn't want to come down out. I'm going to put the seal on it right there where it's at. Yeah, this seal's hard. Yep. There's the O-ring seal we're after. Alright, I got my seal. Yeah, that looks a lot better on there. That ought to do the trick. That ought to seal it up good. Okay, so when you put silicone on your filler tube, all you'll want to do is, like I've got it on my finger there, just kind of all you want to do is spread it around the tube like that, where the seal's at and above the seal. And like I said, what it helps with is it makes the seal slick to where to slide down in to the transmission without cutting the seal. I've seen a lot of guys put these in and they cut that seal. They don't. You can put a little grease around it and do it, but I like to use silicone. It gives it that little extra seal. So let's see if we can get it back down in there. There we go. So we don't have no leaks now. Everything looks good, cleaned up. You can go ahead and put the fluid back in it once you get the filler tube in, because the seal will do the sealing. It doesn't require waiting overnight or anything like that. And then just see what you got after you get the fluid back in it. This is Coke Man's Auto. Thanks for watching.